Hello and welcome back to the English broadcast of the LPL. We are quickly getting into our second game. Of course, it is underway, so if you want to watch live, you can see that over in Doyu and Panda TV. But if you want to stick with us on the English broadcast with me and Rusty, then stay here.
Why would you watch it live? We're bringing it to you from start to finish. That's what you want to watch. Anyway, the pics are on your screen, so we'll go through a couple of those and we'll talk about what they mean. Remember that we're in Chengdu. I saw the panda. It just distracted me instantly.
Exactly.
I just thought it was a cool panda.
Yep.
Anyway, we have pretty much champion swaps here between OMG and JD between games. You note that the Lee Sin, the Varus have been picked up by their by OMG in this game. What JD beat them with in the first one. So that's the first thing you have to look at. A lot of focus this time around has been swapped towards the other team's drafts, and I like that a lot from OMG because I do think that Varus is the best right now. And remember, the World 6 is also a Lee Sin one trick back in Spring Split.
Days of old,
2017 even actually, further back than that. And for JD Gaming, they've gone for a Ezreal, Tahm Kench, and they've also got a LeBlanc for Yagao. I'm actually just excited to watch that composition work because the individuals on those champions excites me a lot.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I really just wanted to see more playmaking ability coming out of OMG, and I feel like they have a lot of these champions right here that can do that.
Yep.
And then on the opposite side, I mean, it's, you know, Yagao's no slouch on someone like LeBlanc. We're about to get into game, so we can get right into it and you can actually see how these champions do on the Rift. So let's go. Once again, I'm going to be driving your way. And we're about to get on Rift here in Chengdu. Number 2, we'll see if JD can close this 1-2-0 or OMG can bite back.
Man, he booms in Chengdu.
He does, yeah. Actually, at some point, I want him to just keep going and see if the crowd, you know, follows him.
I think it's Unicorns of Love that do that.
Yeah.
They chant all the time.
I mean, they're the first one to really have like an organized fan club in the European LCS.
Yeah.
The Love Hurts crew.
I think there's also the Scuttle Crab enthusiasts. I don't know what their name is, but I know they're very
They're more
enthused.
like a cult than anything else.
Yeah, the Church of Scuttle Crab.
Church of Scuttle.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're trading in the top lane. Zoom has Kleptomancy, so he is the real winner here. I actually think I just saw 50 gold after his first one. No, get another Q off. Alright, Grasply Undying versus Kleptomancy. Who wins? I think the answer is Gangplank, depending on what he found.
Yep.
It's a Gangplank.
Elixir of Fortitude.
Pop that one. Q him again. Feel real good. Nope, never mind.
This is a fun top lane matchup. I mean, really, it will stop mattering after like level 3, but for now it's fun. Bot lane, Loken and Mao picking up the Ezreal. See a lot of AD carries picking up Ezreal recently. Wow, he just got 2-tapped.
It's a lot of Korean AD carries that are picking up Ezreal. I will. Okay, so I'll preface that by saying the world is picking Ezreal, but the Koreans are winning with Ezreal.
All right, there you go.
Because the rest of the world
for certain
can't play Ezreal, is what we have noticed. In fact, a lot of the win rates are inverse between Ezreal and Varus, where in the LCK, Ezreal is winning more often than not. The rest of the world, Varus is winning more often than not. So I guess we get a pretty good example here of where the LPL sits in terms of their individual mechanics when a Chinese Varus goes against a Korean Ezreal. Who wins?
I don't really know, to be honest. I just know that there are some players in our league when they pick Ezreal. I go a bit Monker-esque because when I see LWX with any champion that has a dash, I'm like, uh-oh. That just gives him, it just enables him to jump into the enemy
forwards,
team. Yeah.
LWX is an anomaly there, I think. That man is called the shotgun for a reason. Of course, we get to look at the Varus runes. Now, a lot of Varuses will have different preferences. This is a very early game rune set. There's mid-fighting.
Icon pre-ignited. He's going to jump back towards his ally, but Yagao is going to split up 2 ways, and they just straight up trade.
No emotes this time around, but the 1-for-1 note that Icon does get first blood. He gets the extra 100 gold. And neither of them having teleport, the waves stacked in an awkward position where junglers are also going to collect it. Bottom. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Mao's walking it back, but he has no grey health. Has to flash away from the binding because he was lined up against the edge of the wall. World 6 goes face first with Clid, and he says, hey, that's my champion. Come back here.
But Clid does hold the wave in a better position for Yagao. So that's a small victory there on the back of the first blood going over to the Jace. We don't get a chance to talk right now. The runes just keep coming up. Now, if we're going to talk about the difference between the runes of these AD carries, Chelly on his Varus with Comet actually went towards Scorch. He did not go towards any scaling runes in there. He went for the early game base damages, where Loken has gone towards the scaling runes, and we're going to gank again. We're in top lane.
Nope, lands the claw, has to flash over that one, and Clid instantly going to be very happy. That's yes, to expand the flash.
Making money, getting those summoner spells gone. Clid feeling real good about himself so far. Trundle does excel at those early game ganks just by having the pillar. And usually, if the pillar connects, forces a summoner spell. Now, in mid lane, after that first blood, there's just actions just constantly happening everywhere. It was a massive win in terms of itemization purchases for Icon. He's gone straight towards the lethality. He's been able to pick up the serrated Dirk from the get-go. So he is controlling that mid lane 1v1 by those items. This is World 6 and Icon. Looking.
Yeah, just looking. They're not looking to purchase, I think. They're just window shopping. He's going to go back to base. And first back of the game, actually, for the old Lee Sin. Can he get himself the skirmishes? Nope, he's not. He's going to get himself double longswords, yeah.
Changed his mind. I think if you're going to choose between a completed jungle item or you're going to go towards long swords, I think it depends on if you've got the early first blood for yourself, because you're going to be the richest on your team. So regardless, not going to happen. Also could have went for boots, but chooses the damage route. I like that a lot more.
I mean, that's World 6 written all over it, to be honest. He was the Lee Sin player, the Elise player as well, actually. World 6.
Oh, they're going to go at it again.
Well, he's glad that he purchased the longswords, because now he can jump in and do all of that damage to Clid, courtesy of the shock blast in from the mid lane. Yagao walking back, and he's going to be the bodyguard.
He's going to be the bodyguard. He's going to get Clid out to safety. There was a Swain coming down from top lane as well. You've just completely lost the plot. That was something else.
I don't know, I just went full like Sesame Street for a second.
They took our jobs.
They're going to take Yagao's life in a second. He's going to walk them backwards. Typically dog walkers don't go that direction. Oh, World 6 will pick him. Oh, he predicted the actual duke. Okay, they finally get the kill. World 6 will collect that one.
Yeah, I think all of the juking's not going to save him from damage. I think that's fair to say. OMG making the scoreline 2-1. Yagao getting focused a little bit here. Of course, that is what happens when you lose health and resources trying to save your jungler. So really, Lee Sin forces all of this to happen, but then a sick roam coming out of 5, finds his way into the middle lane, and is able to set themselves up for that kill. Cheeky little cancel.
Yeah.
I also saw the Lee Sin recall.
We're fine. Throwing some hands on top lane.
That's what it is, you're making sound effects.
It's alright if you domify your life just a little bit. He's good at sound effects. He's a dungeon master, through and through. But one of your points, you sound a bit like Kermit, and it made me giggle for a second, so I think that's where... Okay. Can you do a good Kermit impression? I feel like you can.
No, I can't actually. No?
I feel like one of Rusty's hidden talents would be something obscure like that.
I'm much more proficient Bert and Ernie.
Oh, really?
But I'm not going to do that one on air.
Damn, I'll ask you afterwards. I know that Dom does a great Big Bird impression, but he doesn't really do anything to.
Yeah,
he just walks into a room and it says, "Hey, it's Big Bird."
Oh, that's mean. He can't respond.
I love Big Bird. He's the best character. It's not lame at all.
See, that's where we actually disagree. Oh. I don't think Big Bird's the best character.
He's a badass.
Oscar the Grouch is the best.
Oh yeah, he's up there.
And the Cookie Monster.
The Eagle.
Also the Count. Like, how are you going to say the Big Bird's better than all of those?
There's just a lot of good characters in Sesame Street, let's be honest. Who's on the low tier then? Who's the low tier Sesame Street character? What?
Elmo after 10 years.
Elmo. That's when, you know the Elmo toys and they just like run out of battery? And it's like, Elmo. That's like him after 10 years.
You took that real obscure as well. We were already obscure enough with Sesame Street on the LPL. I'm not sure any of our viewers...
I don't think Sesame Street's that obscure, because I'm like the bar, right? Because most of our viewers, I reckon, are around my age. So if I know what Sesame Street is, the majority of our viewers will.
I mean, if you know what Sesame Street is, feel free to tweet at us and say what your favorite character is.
At RustyLol, at Right Pulse. Yeah, there you go. Nailed the plug. OMG just got away with, you know, a bit of smash and grab right there. No, he did.
Blue buff secured by Yagao, but he's also going to, at a high cost, secure that blue buff. Now, he does have Corrupting Pot, so in terms of potion sustain through lane, he is okay. Icon's going to constantly poke him out with that blue buff, and you can see even the Ignite
Don't know about that one, Yagao.
This is a dive risk. And by dive risk, I mean Gate Shock Blast is longer than tower range, so that's what they have to be super cautious of. Also, bottom, losing to the exact same thing, with a Jason and Varus in the exact same game, and having them in mid and AD carry roles, the threat is so high of them grouping. If they're snowballed, or they have item spikes and they group up, the siege is insane. Like, this is actually a game where I think that Ezreal may even won Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, it seems like the state of affairs in mid lane and bot lane is the exact same.
It's getting poked and recalling constantly, yeah.
And then having to recall very far away from your tower because they can still kill you. And Charlie, he just gets time to take down the first tower in peace.
At 9 minutes in the game, OMG are able to secure the first turret. Blood solo gold goes to Chelly. He's got himself a 20-odd CS advantage as well. World 6 even able to get objectives in the river. The whole map on the bottom side belongs to them, and this is very inverse to what we saw in Game 1. OMG showing signs of life.
Very much the case. Taking the lead in the early game, no less. Next round's going to be Infernal. They're going to be sunny skies after this spot of rain. And you go back into the mid lane. Picked up his last chapter. That trade did not go his way. I can absolutely see that as the case. And I feel like he's woken up a little bit.
He's got his Jace. He's empowered to win lane, which is a pleasure to watch when Icon is actually empowered in any way.
True.
Of course, he's had World 6 hovering around. He's even got 5 clearing vision on the top side for him currently, as they have lane swapped here, OMG. They want to continue to win lane, follow that mantra through until the gold lead is more significant than it currently is.
Now, the funny thing is actually that Icon in this game, you know, his opponent is playing his champion, LeBlanc. You know, he is the assassin player of old, through and through. In the first game, he's playing the Zoe, which was Jigao's, you know, signature champion. So it seems like just taking turns from picking from the other person's champion pool.
That's fair. I also think, you know, it's important to point out that JD Gaming and League of Legends love themselves a Game 3.
Yep.
When they win a first game, they are often touted as the experimenters coming into the second one, losing that one, going back to standard in the third, and then everything looks sunshine and rainbows for them again. So, whilst this game has started very dire for them, and I'm not going to count JD out, I will say that they are used to this situation. They often lose Game 2s.
They are. Just don't look too closely at JD's series, just see that they won the series. That does mean they get a lot of game time. A lot of game time, because we play a lot of games in the LPL.
Yeah, whereas other teams like Invictus Gaming, when they lose a game in a set, you notice that there's a reason they lost that game, and that is existing potential issues that other teams get hit the eye.
What?
Thank you.
Jeez. That was like 4 or 5 auto attacks back to back, just didn't find the eye. Shelly can be a bit uncooperative at times. And Loken found himself on the top side of the map. Indeed, he... actually didn't see, did he go for Tier or Sheen first?
He went for the Tier first. He also is going towards Iceborne Gauntlet, like we briefly mentioned just prior. And I think that is the smartest choice. Usually Trinity Force, you know, you want to maximize your damage output. That is true. But against a lethality composition of his opponents, going for Iceborne Gauntlet, firstly it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to purchase. And secondly, it's got a lot of armor that an Ezreal can otherwise not really find. If he goes for Iceborne Gauntlet Ninja Tabi, then he's unstoppable. Icon is just harassing, mentally and on the Rift.
Yeah, I feel like this is some type of offense that he should be able to report to at least the Cyber Police.
Herald's going to be summoned here. No contest, but teleport's coming in very early to try and stop it. I think that teleport's risky. You actually run the risk of dying.
That's true. Luckily, you know, we'll teleport in behind his tower, but Shelly says, "Get out of the way, Clid!" And it's a full char off. Unfortunately, OMG are not going to find themselves in mid lane tower, but it is on its last legs, that is for certain. Shelly's going to rotate towards the top side of the map now, and it's being pre-set up by 5, so we're going to get a bit of chip damage here.
No, that's the break
range
point.
To actually stop this push from happening.
Not even an Ezreal ultimate available. Zoom with no ultimate, but has the teleport if it comes to it. However, he is very content on the bottom side of the map, and that's the place we haven't looked at in a little while. Now Zoom, with Kleptomancy Gangplank and constantly fighting with Xiang early game, was making a lot of bank. Has found a 20-odd CS advantage for himself. Of course, it's about to crash. Zoom will, Xiang rather, will bring some of that back. But that's a Gangplank that's getting ever closer to his Trinity Force spikes, and that's always a big takeaway. Oh my lord!
Yagao going in there onto fire. Has to burn his perfect timing stopwatch, but he's still burning.
Oh, one tick.
He knows how to stop, drop, and roll.
No Ignite to kill him, except the Ezreal ultimate's coming.
Oh, it's on target! 5 has to flash away.
Picks a bush, any bush. Of course, it goes through a full minion wave. There was a chance that he didn't die, but why would you take that risk when Loken is so aligned on the mark? Forces a summoner spell. Well done from Yagao, and a nice little shot there from Loken.
Pick the right brush. Yeah, he's now going to push up the mid lane. We haven't actually had that many kills in the game, though we have had a lot of action. 2 and 1 in terms of kills, but first tower of the game over to OMG. Do you remember that one went solely over to Chelly? So that's accelerated his item build. He's now 1.5 items. Of course, gunning towards the early lethality.
Now, we've highlighted what the champions will do in the compositions. We should actually point out when they are strong in the game. I think more than anything else, we haven't fully fleshed that one out just yet. So with a lethality build, mid-game is often the place that you'll be looking at. You scale off in late game quite a bit. Sometimes the Varus builds and the Jace builds will go for a Last Whisper third just to compensate when people stack resistances. So that's what you'll be looking at for OMG, a lot of mid-game strength and priority. Whereas for JD Gaming, with the Ezreal, with the potential of a 1-3-1 with Yagao on the Blanc as well as a Gangplank, late game is still a pretty strong place for them to find themselves. And that's what you'll be looking at for them, especially after a fairly rough, I'd say a tumultuous early game start.
Definitely the case. We're just waiting until we crest that point in the game where the sparks will certainly start to fly in the two teams. So far we've just seen which is like skirmishes and solo kills and solo outplays, I think, from the teams. As to be expected when you have a player like Yagao who's playing LeBlanc and also Icon who's playing Jace, so you do expect to see it. And World 6 of course on a Lee Sin is going to want to make plays early.
No stopwatch.
Case in point, 5, drop low, but here comes Icon. Get out of here. Get off my support.
Does still connect with him, and that was pretty much solo damage onto Yagao. He's taking a lot, and that Varus build is doing a significant amount. 5 is the focus because he is the easy kill. That's boots of mobility rushed, and the upgrade of the Spell Thieves as soon as possible. So by doing that, no resistances, and I mean that's not a surprise for a Morgana. The likes of a LeBlanc with a complete Luden's Echo can one-hit you with a full rotation. So that's what they're trying to do, you know. If OMG want to push in, they want to push forwards, they have to do that through the potential one-hit of their opponents. Buying time, if nothing else.
Yeah, nice Gangplank ultimate there will keep the mid lane tower again alive. Seems like it's just managed to stay on its foundations. I mean, there's nothing really left in that tower, to be honest. Dragon has now spawned, and it is an Infernal, so both teams are going to move their way towards it.
LeBlanc's top side, however, with no teleport, so they're just going to have to concede here. There's a chance of a steal, but nothing more. Zoom overstepping a little bit, actually.
Oh, very much. Oh, thank you, mate.
Oh, no.
He's still tagged out by Icon and World 6 with the Q. He was dead either way.
Yeah, Zoom overstepped. He did have a stopwatch. There was a chance that he could have got out, but at the end of the day, he just a bit too close to the pit. Swain's able to lock him down with that never move. I mean, there was no LeBlanc. There was no chance of them contesting that one.
Loka almost just face planted into a Dark Binding. Didn't. 5 in the end will take a lot of damage from his Mystic shots. But two very long-range AD carries who are able to dish out a lot of damage, especially in the mid-game. When both of these guys hit 2 items, it's going to be Hurt City for a lot of people. Hurt Locker, if you will.
Loken spamming all of his spells on mass, trying to get towards his Manamune as well. Once that one is completed, he'll actually have a damage spike. Because, of course, he rushed the Iceborne Gauntlet. It is about sustaining through the mid-game, pushing your way through what is going to be a difficult time for JD Gaming as a 5v5. OMG getting Infernals, breaking turrets. So lots of damage out of Yagao.
Yeah, that was just a distortion as well. Change didn't even connect off of that. Just making it known that if he gets a full combo onto someone, especially a squishy, they are dead.
It's like what we said before, you know, the fact that Ezreal is just buying time, the fact that the Gangplank ultimate was used just to buy time. Yagao, by playing this assassin style, is also buying time because he forces them to recall. And it's not kills, but it's a lot of time, and that's exactly what they're after.
Indeed. Yeah, we are just slowing the pace down just a little. The team farming up, waiting for those spikes.
There's 2 Kleptomancer users on JD's comp as well.
There are indeed, yes. There's going to be scaling all the way to their items. Finally, Masamune, Muramana is the second one.
Manamune.
Manamune, that's the one.
As an Australian, you say Manamune, but everyone yells at you.
That's true. Same in the UK.
Yeah.
The same way with pronunciation of H.
Oh, our favorite EULCS team that everyone loves us pronouncing.
Yep.
H2K.
Yep. H2K. Yeah, most people don't realize that different countries exist and therefore different pronunciations exist.
A lot of people don't realize that the LPL is streamed on more than just Twitch. As a side note. Yeah.
Where can I find them, Rusty?
Some of the revolves around Twitch. Goalposts, I'm glad you asked.
Oh.
No, I'm not going to do it. Bunch of Chinese websites. YouTube.
That's not a Chinese website.
On top of the Chinese websites. YouTube. Now, if everything goes to plan in this game, which that did not for OMG, if everything goes to plan for JD Gaming in this game, it's going to last for another 20, maybe 20 minutes. Let's say 15 minutes, and that's when they come alive. For OMG, they want to be alive currently. World 6 considering the kick.
Cleanse exhausted. It's going to be Yagao double tap over the wall, and World 6 takes a lot of damage. Oh, he's going to bleed out from this one. I've never seen that before. How do we even say that? He got subjugated.
Unlimited power for Clid. He just absorbs the life force of World 6 and kills him. And there you go. OMG, they threaten the dive, and guess what? Completely thwarted in their attempt.
What a sad way to die. You know that
Really
guy who died when he opened the Capri Sun and stabbed himself? That's not what you want on your tombstone, you know? Died to subjugate. World 6 2018. What a disaster.
Well, that one just missed.
Yep.
Your girl's going to take this
He's
fight,
still
though.
being run away. Yeah, he's being chased away from his tower.
Could
Which
have
one is
distorted
it?
to the structure.
Is it the one that's hitting you? It would have been the ultimate bait there if it was. But no, he's still running away.
And there's no gate shock blast for quite some time, but there is a 5 just playing defense. Meanwhile, mid.
Oh, Chelly! He's going to flash away. LeBlanc's still on the run, by the way. Where is she? Moving towards the mid lane, and Yagao's found the rest of the team, but he's still on the wrong side of the wall. Oh!
From bad to worse. He was out. There's a Tom Kench just around the corner. Then he panic flashes. Yagao, that's really tragic. He's not going to do anything there, just die and waste a lot of time. Now, on the bottom side, a turret was taken by Zoom, so again, this Gangplank is coming alive with that one completed item working towards the Sterak second, but they're going to concede mid lane now as a result of the tragedy that is LeBlanc.
Yeah, that was something. JD now getting sieged in the mid lane, 5 members strong. Teleport coming down, instant. That wasn't a binding, that was actually a claw coming through from Xiang.
And the binding missed onto Clid just prior, who immediately subjugated in an attempt to stay alive. He does so, of course, maybe just giving some night terrors to World 6. He backed away. Not again.
Oh, I honestly wonder if anyone has been killed like that in the history of League of Legends.
Oh, yeah. Just said a very broad thing.
Competitive play.
Oh, right. Can't remember. That's
yeah, because I certainly can't. Because, like, yes, it's technically a dot, but it moves so slow. In the same way that, like, Mordekai's ult actually does a lot of damage over time. Because, like, Mordekai's ult is over, like, 10 seconds. I think it's, like, 30 to 40% of your HP when you have, like, 500 AP. It's a lot of health. But it happens so slowly that, like, your health regeneration often, like, you know,
a level 6 Mordekai's ultimate is just red potion counted.
Yeah.
So, that's correct.
Yeah. Still funny. OMG clearing out the bottom side of the map. Xiang is actually going to find himself down there.
OMG aren't like, so here's the thing about this game. OMG are making active attempts to do things, and they're only sometimes successful. OMG's setup is something that you'll have to look at in these situations. It feels like more than anything else, they'll say this is a good idea, and then they'll do it instead of taking the 3 minutes to place vision down. Where JD Gaming in active attempts to prevent their opponents from getting things, they still find opportunities. Zoom getting the bottom lane turret, now Zoom and Clid getting themselves the Infernal Dragon, denying 2 in a row from OMG. During OMG's power spikes, these are being denied.
That's going to be really nice for JD. You get the one that counts, it's going to be an Infernal to them.
It's like 600 gold the difference between these teams. That's not all that significant.
No, it really isn't. I mean, it feels like it should be more, but especially because OMG have 2 towers. So you would say that they'd be significantly further ahead, but look at GP. Farming up a storm, 40 farm ahead. Yagao jumps in, Yagao jumps out. Icon almost tagged by that one as it comes across from the mid lane, off the broadside.
And again, they make a push, they attempt to make a play OMG, and they're just removed from the map. They have to go back to base, they have to reset. JD Gaming buy themselves a lot more time. They're not going to be looked at just yet, of course, whilst they were running past it very menacingly. It will bring JD over to make sure they're not.
Who wins? Blue buff or Icon? Oh, it'll be Icon. Clid, he locates 5. You're looking for the chain, does not connect.
You got no mana, they should probably
Still
stop
chasing down. Clid continuing to go. Hail of arrows through from Chelly. Yeah, midway was being set up by Loken whilst that was happening. Just seeing what they could get. Oh, it's a dark binding.
Just casually hits him out. He's going to be okay. We're just going to reset once again.
At what point does this arrow break though, Rusty? Because we're once again in a bit of a nature documentary, but this time it seems like kind of out of choice more than anything else.
I would say it's a very conscious choice from JD, you're correct. When does it break? I think that really depends on how they want to play this one out between 2 and 3 items. The big talking point for me will be how strong the Gangplank will be at 3 items now. When you look towards his item build, he's gone towards the Sterak second. So once the Storm Razor is complete and the guaranteed crit comes through from the kegs, when you're staring down a Jace, Swain, and a Varus, even a Lee Sin, there's a very high chance you'll be hitting kegs. So that's the reason that I bring up Zoom on his GP. He is going to be a significant team fighting boon for the side of JD once they get to that stage. And he's already getting eerily close to exactly that. But the Ezreal is gone towards the double tier item build. So it'll take a little bit of extra time to scale that one up. He's not too far off the completed Archangels now. Once it is completed, it stacks faster. So that's what you're looking at for him. I think 2-3 items. Oh, hang on.
Catfish on the menu. That's a clean combo from World 6 in the kick flash. An Icon will be the recipient of that kill.
Into the loving arms of a binding. So well done from OMG. They get the pick that they're after. That pick does open up the map, but again, does that translate into a structure? I would say it is unlikely. Ezreal with an Iceborne Gauntlet and red buffs. Wave clear is significant. As the
Gangplank Horseman comes down. Klid looking for more. Chelly low. He's going to take another Mystic Shot flashed away from, but Klid is still fighting World 6. He jumps back towards an ally, but Icon really wants out of here. It's going to be jumped forward by Yagao. He gets another, and Icon is well and truly dead. Yagao gets another, and Chelly is being chased back, but Yagao is hunting. Places down the sigil. Left, right. Missed. He's got his dancing shoes on.
Dancing.
But Chelly, he's about to run out of ground, and unfortunately goes golden and goes down.
Yeah, so he's going to die. And once again, OMG, they'll get a pick. They'll start it off well. People aren't going to know that Swain's there. He's going to pretend he was invisible. JD Gaming have acknowledged that they don't want to go towards him because they are running straight to the Baron buff. Or at least 2 of them are. And they're going to kick this one off. They look very clean on the counter engages JD and OMG from a pick to a Myth team fight immediately afterwards. Not getting what they're after. And that was not a word that I wanted to say. I wanted to say missed or scuffed, and I just said miffed. Miffed. Which means slightly angry team fighting.
Yeah, I would say you're a bit miffed that you happen to say that, actually.
Oh, I would say that, actually.
Moderately vexed.
Slightly perturbed.
Oh, hang on. Mao is going 1 versus 3. We'll see if he can do it.
Do what? He's just going to die. He's just standing still waiting for death. We'll see if he can do it.
Yeah, I like to give him a chance, Rusty.
He did it.
Remember the other day when we saw SMLC underneath that bot lane tower?
Sick pillar here from Klid to start that one off, forcing a flash from Chelly. That's what kills him in the end. Of course, World 6, no flash, no kick. That was how they got the pick. And Yagao also able to come in with all of the mobility that the LeBlanc has. Nice little stopwatch on the back end from Klid. There goes OMG.
Yagao will get himself a blue buff, and yeah, as you said, there go OMG. JD reclaim the lead in this series by claiming the lead in this game, 6-6. But it's all about the gold lead. And even when OMG were ahead in terms of kills, they're actually like only barely ahead in terms of gold. Now JD firmly have the gold lead.
Here comes the item spikes as well, particularly for Zoom, like we spoke about having that Storm Razor. And it really is gross for Gangplank to get a guaranteed crit.
It is.
Playing around kegs is hard enough sometimes, especially once he ticks over to level 13. The keg wind-up time is a lot less.
Yeah, and you're like, boy, I hope this one doesn't crit. Well, now you don't really have a choice, do you?
Yeah,
so.
if all of them now crit, the kegs are the most important thing. But good Gangplanks, of course, they know not to just press Q on a keg. So they'll auto-attack the keg. And if that one connects, then they'll just Q you. And if one of those is critting, it's just going to hurt no matter which way you paint it. Zoom. He knows there's no flash kick for World 6. Well done.
Instant flashes away, but Death's Daughter is big, and there's the crit you were just talking about, back to back.
Here's one
versus 2. Oh my god, he's making this happen. Icon flashes away. Get away from the GP.
Swain wants it. He's not going to get it yet.
Oh, he's an angry pirate. Oh, he's going to be sniped down though.
How
this
many
one's for Piltover.
Does it take to kill one Gangplank?
3.
Whilst the rest of JD Gaming are just winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, JD are just playing PvE right now. They're having the best time of their lives because Zoom is literally tying up everybody. Calling the reverse flash. Oh, Chelly's just straight up dead. 5 in the base, pops the ultimate, gets a bit of a lockdown, but the rest of the team dropping 1 by 1. Icon into the base. He always gets one shot by Yagao. At least he'll get 2 on the backside. Now Mao fires Lonesome once again. No team behind him, and he will sweep up the mess. Janitorial duties, but the tower still dies.
Yeah, the minions do get the tower. So JD Gaming, in a very aggressive overstep from themselves, pushing 2 lanes at once. They commit to the single lane, and in that committal, they do ultimately go down. This opens up the Dragon as a potential for JD Gaming, rather for OMG. Now we'll see what happens in the bottom side. Early flash, good flash, and a nice little dodge there from Zoom. And he sees his opportunity because he's got the big one in the middle, that guaranteed extra damage. And once the Sterax pops up, he's got the kill. Now I feel like he could have avoided using that stopwatch and maybe have gone for the flag.
Yeah,
but he also didn't know that Xiang would also be here and that a Swain would also flash super aggressively towards him whilst the rest of his team was winning the map. Well, these things happen.
Unpredictable, old Swain.
That was just unexpected.
It was indeed.
Also, it's a Swain top
really
lane pulse. We don't often see that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's hard because we jump straight in. We don't watch the draft from beginning to end. So
we just saw the draft and we saw a Swain and we were like, yep. Probably going to be bot or mid.
Apologies for missing some of the details. That was all a crit. Just looked amazing. But yeah, it's a Swain top lane. It's also not a Zhonya's Swain top lane. He's 3-0-2, so Xiang is a big threat right now.
That's not like he's died.
No, he hasn't. He's got the stopwatch currently. It's just not going to be a Zhonya. So he's got the one use. And if he continues along this trajectory and stays as a huge top lane Swain, then he'll be able to get the Zhonyas in no time and perhaps get the correct usage out of it. It's Chelly. That's an indicator that he wants to press his buttons forwards. Popping that edge of knife.
I like it. I like his attitude. 11-9 currently. Let's take a look at the gold totals. That's someone who's invested in the Bank of Plank. Yeah, he's 14,000 gold.
Yeah, I mean,
2-4, but look at his farm and look at the Kleptomancy.
It's a big Swain opposing him, yet he is still ahead in gold by that much.
By 2k,
look how much damage that just did.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Zoom is just doing exactly what we said he should be. He groups up at the correct moment. Oh, Lord.
You go flashing forwards into the combo. He looked at Chelly.
The base is
Chelly
broken.
looked at him back, and yeah, that's all they need because they zoned away the bot lane of OMG. Xiang's the one pushing forward. He's got full charges.
OMG wants
to look for a big pop, and Waltic goes all the way in, and now decides to go all the way out because he does not want to go 1v5. The bot lane's still wounded off of the damage coming in from JD.
Morgana able to disengage. Rather, the Tom Kench able to disengage. JD Gaming, they're waiting.
What are they looking for, though? They had Ezreal play Possum, carrying out a ward. Always around the wall.
It's just going to be the chance to walk away here from JD. Also breaking and inhibit mid lane. The reason they were so close to actually being caught by OMG is a bit of miscommunication from the JD roster, it felt like. In that Loken needed to hit the last auto attack onto the inhibitor. So he misclicks, he cancels one auto attack animation and then has to go back again and immediately use his disengage spell to get out with that Essence Flux. So almost dies, but doesn't really in the end. Compliments of the team comp of JD, very good at disengaging, Gangplank Kegs, Tarm Kench, Trundle Pillars. And I'll never not enjoy watching Zoom crit these.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a lot of gold.
Barrel.
Barrel.
Okay, it just sounds a bit weird, Chinese.
Yeah, it does. I'm glad that we got to listen to that, though, because some champions are very different. I would say the one... Oh, that was useful. The one consistent one is Mundo. He just says Mundo.
He does.
With a Chinese accent. I like it.
His name also transcends language because Mundo cannot be translated. Mundo is Mundo. It's just the only way it will be.
That's a great question, actually. I wonder if different languages he'd always just Mundo.
He should be.
Well, if any of you play on a client that isn't Chinese or English, let us know. Also, at RustyLaw and at Riot Balls.
Nas sound package is used globally because he doesn't say words that are in a language. He speaks his own language. So he sounds the same in every region.
Really?
Yeah.
100%?
Yep.
Have you played on different language packs?
It's just a known fact, Pulse. Are you challenging me?
Yeah, because every time you make an analogy, I have to challenge you because there's nothing under the hood. It's like a cardboard with nothing in it.
That was a fact.
Okay. I know, but I'm just saying it transcends just your analogies now. Now I'm questioning everything. This is like, has everything Rusty's been feeding me over these years just a lie? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's the problem. You got just in his natural habitat. It's like, I'm a wolf.
It's going to assassinate World 6 here, ideally, and then Baron should be secured, because they're hitting that during all of this time. OMG, not really able to check.
Oh, and he found him after the jump as well. He's just dead. Death's Daughter ultimate comes down.
They disengage Baron, so they're looking for the 5v5 now. They've forced themselves into this. They could have just gone back to Baron. There was already two hitting it. Surprised to see that they did choose to make that disengage, but JD in the 4v5 with the smite gone from OMG will continue along this trajectory. However, they need to control mid. OMG may just barrel their way down.
Perhaps they could do a barrel roll. Oh, he's really good at battleships. But Clid's there, and it was a spell shield on Chelly, so he's going to be aight. You go over the wall. That was a tiny shock blast.
We've swapped sides of the map
Icon's
here.
on the wrong side of the wall.
All
Jump back over. Xiang, he's backing away, but thinking about going in. Popping the ultimate, Clid's low, but no, he's going to escape from this one.
OMG is still on the wrong side of the map, Pulse.
Oh yeah, that's the red side.
They're recalling in the enemy red buff. JD are just going to let that one happen. They want to take a quick little journey there, Chelly, further away from the rest of the team, but nonetheless, we just get a complete recall. Both teams acknowledging that we're at a stalemate, even though we're both on the wrong side of the map.
That was
We'll go back to step one.
An Australia play. We're upside down.
I'd say we're upside down, not backwards.
Oh, that's fair. What would be backwards then?
Australian toilets.
Yeah. You know what I learned the other day when the typhoon was about to hit Shanghai? Is that apparently they swore the other direction. Like,
to a hurricane, right?
To a hurricane, yeah.
Not to a cyclone.
Yeah. And the only difference between a typhoon and a hurricane is where they, I want to say spawn because I've been playing video games too often, but where they originate from.
It's the point of summoning.
Yes.
Yes.
Wherever the wizard has decided to activate the typhoon.
Yeah,
from.
not quite. There isn't a whole lot of difference between them.
Yeah. But they do spin in different directions.
I feel like mid lane is just going to be the place to be. OMG's comp does love themselves some mid lane between a Varus and a Jace poke. Now if they could hit the poke, it would be very consequential.
Rusty, I don't know why it's with you every single time I feel like I'm casting nature documentaries.
I just don't feel... Well,
because we just get these type of games. You remember that WE game when they had Nash and it was just arrows just drifting past our screen? It was like a 70-minute game.
That was a full body experience.
Yeah, it really was. We were in the immersion chamber.
This game does still have more action than that one. There's still a lot of attempts for things to happen, but a lot of this has been OMG with a lead, wrestling for control with JD, just disengaging brilliantly.
Yep.
And, you know, JD, a very good team play team. You're seeing that exactly now. They're going to get themselves in here. The question is, can they get out with their lives intact? Catch
of the day, it's a Tam Kench.
Oh, the kick.
Oh, that was a juicy kick. Mao, he's actually got the full shield, and Loka's got one on the way out as well. It's shield for days. And now Clid says, sacrifice me instead. I am the chosen one. My life for JD Gaming. Oh, he's still good as well. Jumps away. Finally, Xiang will blast him with the Force Lightning.
I don't think they can chase too much further. There's still a gangplank that they would have to deal with. JD, they survive. The Tam Kench and the Ezreal get out with their lives. But, of course, as you mentioned, Clid has to sacrifice himself for the cause. Baron is still up, however. And with Clid gone, that's where you'd expect them to go. Now, Loken has TP. So whilst he was moving mid, that's fine. What can the rest of JD do in a 4v5? Because you don't take a smite off unless you're gangplank. It's the only one that can probably out-smite here.
But this is a Hail Mary if I've ever seen one. Yagao jumps forwards, doesn't find the kill, but does a lot of chunk down. Xiang low as well, doesn't have the ultimate, and Icon backing away. Oh, Chelly over the wall, almost dropped, and Loken, he's going to die right here. Way too aggressive. Takes a page out of LWX's book right there. And Gangplank by himself over the wall, but looking for the assassinate with Yagao off to the side. Oh, Mao's going to get sniped out as well. OMG about to find their third kill. Shock Blast comes through, doesn't get.
They just can't deal with
snipe
Zoom,
onto
man.
Zoom.
He's too strong.
This is the day you almost caught.
Is that what you want, Five?
Or he's going to find the auto attack. He's dead to trial by fire. And meanwhile, Yagao's just transitioned to mid lane.
Zoom
he's got army minis behind him.
Zoom just kills all of them. JD win the game because their gangplank is just so good. Now Yagao's a bit caught. He's going to sacrifice himself for an inhib because that's what he wants to do right now. It doesn't matter because Zoom's alive. They're still fine.
What a madman.
This guy's a monster.
Give him the MVP. Give him the MVP next game. Did that well.
Give him the next 6. Buy him a house.
Buy his whole team a house. Order it off JD.
OMG will go back to the Baron. Now they should still be able to threaten this one. Zoom, no teleport, just the ultimate. They're trading objectives here. JD Gaming, they're going to go towards the Elder Dragon. It doesn't mean that OMG will get themselves the Baron unless this happens. Now don't discount the possibility.
That's fine.
There's real ultimate as well though. That was 400 HP.
Oh, careful with that H.
Sorry, 400 HP. It was a bit of a clencher.
Good one. Good save there, Rusty. You almost miffed the entirety of, you know,
North American. Making me a bit miffed right now to keep this one up.
There's going to be a trade there. Baron for Elder Dragon. JD really happy with this one. They go back to base, spend all their gold, and probably look for the final push. So be it. Last chance saloon for OMG.
With a Baron buff though, so they'll be able to last quite some time. It is a single Infernal Dragon that has become the Elder, so that buff is not too significant for JD Gaming. But their composition has actually outscaled their opponents. When you bring it all the way back to what we were talking about at the start, JD Gaming do outscale their opponents, not by the most significant of amounts. Now, I will say that Swain is still massive. The Varus has got all of his penetration, and the Jace can assassinate squishy members of the opposing team, namely Yagao on the LeBlanc. Doesn't have any armor. But I feel like a Gangplank and an Ezreal put together with their scaling builds have started to present themselves as a massive issue for OMG to deal with. However, with this Baron buff, they're going to try and push forwards. Yagao doesn't have teleport. He probably should be recalling.
Still a big fan of the fact we can see exactly when those inhibs are going to be spawning for OMG with our fancy new graphic in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Visions of Empire in the mid lane. It's OMG who are on the offensive. They are very far from home though, so they better be confident that this is going to go well for them.
But Zoom is here, so they'll be able to sacrifice an inner turret, but Zoom's constant threat towards their health, with all of the kegs doing about 900 damage now, is unreal. Also going towards the Spirit Visage as his last item. As JD pushed forwards.
Blitz pushing up. Yagao over the wall, constantly looking for these snipes. He's going to be returned right here because Icon's going in very deep. He's going to trade his life or trade his GA for this one. Xiang on the front line is pushing forward into 5 members right here, but it all split. It's going to be Tam Kench again buying time, but it's a bit of a mess right here. Clid, he's pushing out there. But it's going to be the pop. 3 kills over to OMG. Oh, a kill in return.
Yeah, Logan just snipes out 2 of them. He gets 2 kills on the backside. Jace goes to him first. He's just sitting over the walls, throwing out shots constantly. Now, the fight is not a comprehensive victory. In fact, because the inhibs are down, they're going to have to deal with top wave. So JD still come out on top of that one. They buy a lot of time where their Baron buff is going to be lost on a couple of members. And then you have to take stock of the summoner spells that were used. Icon missing both of his is going to hurt the most.
And we're drawing dangerously close to even. 3,000 gold advantage over to JD, but it's not really looking at it.
From Icon, that was just a lot. Is that really the way that you want to play this one out? You know, Xiang is huge. You should be playing around that giant Swain that you've got, poking them down. But Icon, after missing a Gate Shock Blast, because he gets hit by the chains, sees no other option but to go all in. And I do think that trading a GA for a kill is just very worth it. But in saying that, you've gone over the wall, you're separated from the rest of your team, and they are able to take you down. The kick used at the end to knock Zoom away, because there really was no safe space, as Loken was just sniping him out.
That being said, with that being said, if Loken didn't find the Mystic Shot on the backside of that, it would have been significantly worse for JD.
Yes. Trusty Loken, however.
The token Loken.
You can trust that man to hit his skill shots in the late game.
Always bring a tower, but always bring a Loken.
Mid lane for OMG, they're going to get the turret.
They're going to easily take down his turret. It's about JD. Do they want to come in with the counterpunch right here? For now, they might just let this tower die because they're not in position. Take a look at Zoom's positioning.
Yeah, Zoom's going towards the turrets here. Now, with mid inhib down, it's going to be supers versus supers in mid lane, so that's not the worst case scenario for JD Gaming. Actually, Zoom's still going.
He's on the floor.
JD are just going to play defense.
Get him back up. He's dead. Chelly's down. Xiang pops the ultimate. He's starting to kite back. He has to actually flash back to his team. Now JD, they see an opportunity to follow through. Contaminate gets thrown down. And Captain Jack Zoom, he's still going into the base. Look at the burst damage coming through. Sniped out. Loken gets 1. Loken finds 2. He's going to bleed out from this one.
And Zoom's just winning the game.
Zoom's playing PvE.
It's just over. There's no one to stop Zoom.
Zoom hasn't even seen the champion in the last 5 minutes. And that's how it's going to end, really. JD already on the Nexus. And he says, why is 5 behind me? And he's just going to dodge out of this one. Flash behind the Nexus. Style on him right here as the shackles come through. And Zoom throws up the emote. And that's going to be the series to JD.
Gives him the winky face. Cleans up the Nexus as well. Is there anything Zoom can't do in this game? That was a good showing from the Gangplank. Even better, actually, towards the end from the Ezreal. Loken really came into his own once he hit those big item spikes. And that's exactly what you expect to see from JD Gaming. A 2-0 victory over their opponents. And once again, OMG, whilst they lose, you see moments. You know, you see that what is potentially there for this side. Not a lot has changed in terms of rosters for OMG, but the results have completely shifted. End of the day, JD Gaming proved that they are still far too strong.
Again, often going to 3, but not always. Sometimes you just get the 2 and 0. It's still one of our top teams in the league. You know, everyone discounts and forgets JD because you have the big four that was sent to Rift Rivals, but just behind them at the time, they were also 5-1 when Rift Rivals rolled around. It's JD.
Miguel's been a monster lately, even in losing situations. Mid lane having an item disadvantage, still able to find picks outside of that laning phase. Zoom able to scale up nicely on his gangplank. He was completely unimpeded and he was against a very strong Swain. And in a credit to Xiang, he did still get the kills. He did still set himself up nicely to succeed. But when you think about the team fights, he is not a player that comes to mind. He hardly existed in those team fights is a big takeaway from that. And I don't think that is to discredit Xiang. I think that is OMG's fault. I think the fault lies with the entire team because their composition was not really catered to team fighting. Yet that's what they presented themselves with. They didn't push the advantages when they had the advantages. And you can see that gold shift.
You can indeed. Still a lot of damage coming through from Icon, Chelly and Xiang. Playing that Swain on the top side, but really I feel like the hero of the day was probably Zoom. Yes, again, great snaps coming out from Yagao on that
Loken
LeBlanc.
as well.
Loken.
It's hard
great
to
snaps
say.
coming out from Loken at the same time.
It's hard to say there is a single hero, but when you
Yeah.
really think about it, back towards that Baron fight where he gets G8'd as well, but he's got the stack, he's able to survive through the rest of his team dying around him, and he's still able to get out and threaten them so much that they can't commit to the Baron. That's the big saving point of this game for JD, and that's really the thing that did it in the end and gave them that victory overall. So I do think a lot of credit should be given to Zoom. I think overall JD individually still played well, but he had the hero moment.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it, right? When everyone's performing very similarly, then who went big, you know, and put the effort in, you know, who went above and beyond? That was probably Zoom in this one, to be fair. And I'm glad that Zoom's actually getting a bit of the limelight because at the same time, I think Yagao obviously opened very strong when he joined the team. I think that Loken's come into his own very recently, and then you've got the old top laner up there. And while he's had moments in the sun, you know, getting solo kills into a lot of the top laners in the league, and that being said, you know, top lane is actually a very difficult lane in the LPL. Lots of strong top laners, so to win mechanically, actually a big deal. But he's just overshone by, you know, the triumphs that JD have found. So that team might get the MVP. I don't know yet, but hopefully he does.
Yep. It's interesting to me as well that we have got such a plethora of top lane talent where we really didn't before. It wasn't the deepest of lanes. It was actually probably one of our weakest when you think back to like 2016, even 2017 to a degree. That was the first time we saw 957 step up at MSI, and we got to see a lot more from Let Me and things like that at Worlds. So coming into 2018, we do have a lot more top lane talent, and a lot more commendable top laners as well, and the pool has deepened. I think that's a very big positive that we can look at someone like Zoom and say, this guy is playing very well with all of the talent now surrounding him. He's not just the third coming of a top laner, you know, there's like 6 this split.
Exactly, you know, and the Shy was definitely the benchmark, you know, before. I feel like the Shy coming back and forth with Duke, you know, Duke's been stepping up, and he definitely, definitely changed the game. It's almost like when the Shy came in, he was almost a catalyst for top lane becoming good again. You know, we had a lot of more carry players. Ray came back in. Ray was a big player, not just on the tanks, but also on the carry picks. Like, even if you stretch down to some of the bottom teams, you still have mechanically strong top laners, looking like someone like Jinnu. So Zoom, it's a tough time to even find solo kills up there, and he's been one of the ones who's been consistently leading in solo kills. So
even people on the bench like Marin exist, you know. I think
exactly. We have Marin in this league,
and he's just stuck on the bench, tragically for him, of course. I think he's actually doing some positional coaching. That's my speculation for Marin. But of course, aside from that, Zoom was a big carry in this game. I think personally, I would give him the MVP. I think he was the most deserving, but you'd be hard pressed to not give it to Loken with the damage that he was also dealing through the game.
I'm going to take a look at our final fight right here, and to be honest, I don't know if we can call this a fight, because I think it was a lot of running away for OMG, and a lot of dying as well from OMG, and a lot of just kind of hitting towers if you're Zoom.
It was Yagao that snipes out Chelly. Now, the thing that you didn't see, or I didn't see, I should say, when we were live in the game, is that was the max range possible chains that I've ever seen, because as the chains connected, he went back to his distortion, but that popped for 900 damage. And then they see the floodgates open. JD, when they've got the Tahm Kench, when they've got the Trundle pillars as well, and they've got a bit of Elder Dragon buff left, I think, as well on the backside of that one. They're able to look towards the fights, and you'll see where the MVP goes. It does go to Yagao. I think he did basically just win the game in the end there, and he played out of his mind with his navigation through team fights as LeBlanc.
I mean, as we said, it was like there were 3 runners in this race, and one of them was Yagao, one of them was Loken, and the other one was Zoom. So if you're watching Zoom, here on the English broadcast, we've got your back. You're our MVP. It doesn't mean anything because you don't get an actual MVP, Yagao will. But yeah, great play. Yeah, you get us. But great play to Yagao as well in the mid lane. I mean, like, as you said, the snipe, we literally saw it on screen right there, was pivotal in them finally finishing the game. And his snipes all game, he was constantly just looking who he could take out.
Wasn't the first snipe that he hit in the game. He was constantly doing it, and we said it before as well. He was doing it from the back foot or with a deficit or with an item disadvantage, whatever it was. Yagao was able to find those picks, find those moments, and he showed up as an individual. Yagao is someone that you have to keep looking towards when you look at mid laners, because for me, he's actually becoming one of the best mid laners in our league. And like we've said, he was rookie of the split, potentially fighting with Knight. I know there's still a lot of debate about Spring and who we thought was rookie of the split, but he's still standing. Knight's currently still MIA, and I think Yagao is now making a push for probably top 3 mid laners in our league. I think Xiaohu's hard pressed to be taken from #1 spot. I definitely think that's true. I think that Scout on every second day is probably the second best, if not best, mid laner in the world. Why not? Let's just throw that one out.
It's the MLXG of mid laners. I keep saying it.
Because every other off day is the worst one.
Yeah.
But I think that Yagao's actually now making a big push for top 3, and I can't, like, Rookie obviously is in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that top 3, but I think Yagao's pushing his way in.
Yeah, 100%. And that's our tier list for mid laners quickly. But if we take a look at the actual standings, we'll see how the teams are actually shaping up. And of course, the top of the table still going to be relatively the same. 11-3 Rogue Warriors after their loss yesterday
to IG
Gaming. Who are themselves 12-1, Rusty.
All we can really confirm from a lot of these conference standings right now is it is day 7 of week 7. So cross-conference has officially ended, is that the East is the best in terms of conference strength. JD Gaming winning our last set today as well, pushed themselves up to 11-2. And that just leaves us with so much space and so much room for excitement when IG, RNG, and JD play against each other. Meanwhile, in the West, we honestly don't know who's going to finish second. JDG have lost like 5 back-to-back sets, and Snake are losing as well. Everyone else is winning and catch up to them. And there is like 3 sets of separation between second and 5th or 6th.
Yep.
What is happening?
Yep. I don't know, Rusty. But what I do know is there are more matches coming up tomorrow.
Sure is.
Yep. Because it will be the start of a brand new week. WE take on TOP for our first matchup of the day. You may be wondering, if you're looking at your schedule, where the heck is my game? Well, W and TOP will be subbing in as a game because of the Jakarta Asian Games coming up in just a few weeks from now. So it has swapped up the standings, swapped up the schedule, I should say, just a little bit. You can catch that on the LPL English Twitter if you want more information. And FunPlus Phoenix taking on OMG will be our final series of the day.
We just saw OMG have a defeat, unfortunately for them. So now is a good opportunity for FunPlus Phoenix to come back into their regular conference play, get that early W on the board, and set themselves up to make a push for playoffs.
You're talking about the craziness in the standings, Rusty. Will they be able to get your take on whether LGD are going to make playoffs or not?
You know what? I need to take a proper look at the standings and come up with a more definitive answer, because you're going to force a bet on me if I say something definitive. I think that they could. I reckon they can make top 4, but I'm not going to say what the percentage is yet. You know how much faith I have in LGD?
What a spoiled
I was a caster during 2015 Worlds, and I dislike betting on that team so much because they just broke everyone's heart from this region.
I'm just saying 3 of us on the team have already, and Rusty, put on the spot was just like, I'm going to have to find more information to make an educated guess.
You just joined Team Flip-Floppers and flip-flop mid that set when the bet was
I'm still committed to the bet though, aren't I? Hashtag team Raz. Over here, we accept all types of people. Normal people, flip-floppers, whatever you want.
I don't think LGD will make it. I think soon in game and get 4.
Okay. We'll see if that actually happens. But now, though, we're going to close out the show. So on behalf of myself, Rusty, everyone on the English broadcast team, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.